So Joe Rogan had on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They had a great conversation. And then what happened is this guy criticized the argument. His name is Professor Peter Hotez. He says, Spotify has stopped even short of trying to stem Joe Rogan's misinformation. It's really true that Anna Merlin is just awful. Senior staff advice. And from all the online attacks I'm receiving, it's clear many actually believe this nonsense. So Rogan says, okay, listen, buddy, if you really think that this is trash, how about this? Peter, if you claim what RFK Jr. is saying is, quote, misinformation, I'm offering you $100,000 to the charity of your choice if you're willing to debate him on my show with no time limit. No time limit. Which is a pretty bold claim. And so, of course, what happened was lots of fighting back and forth. And something happened where Peter said the following. He said, Joe, you have my cell, my email. I'm always willing to speak with you. And Joe said, okay, Peter, this is a non-answer, buddy. I challenge you publicly because you publicly quote tweeted and agreed with that dog crap Vice article. If you're really serious about it, about what you stand for, you now have a massive opportunity for a debate that will reach the largest audience a discussion like this has ever had. If you think someone else is better qualified, suggest that person, Professor, if you can't handle the heat. He says, by the way, Peter, I saw this tweet that you deleted. Peter said this, he said, be serious, Joe. That's what you throw out for your hunting buddies on a weekend, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It seems like an attack on his character rather than a response to his challenge, but all right. He says, a $50 million endowment, which we use Spotify and RFK Jr. can easily afford, not for me, but so we can continue making low-cost, patent-free vaccines for the world's poor, preceded by RFK Jr.'s public apology. Wow, that's a pretty spicy take. Now, he deleted that. Rogan says, I saw this tweet you deleted there, Peter, just so you're clear. And I think he responded to that. He said something like, yeah, it was a little too provocative. That's why I deleted it. But this continues on. He says, hey, Joe, if you're serious about addressing the jabs, the fact that 200,000 unjabbed, something happened to them. He says, I really want to have that discussion. He said, Joe Rogan responds, again, I'm going to ask you very clearly, Peter, are you willing to debate Robert Kennedy on my podcast? Yes or no? Peter says, I'm happy to come on and clear the air. I respect your show. I don't want an adversarial relationship. I think we can work well together. And he said, wait a minute, you don't want an adversarial relationship? It kind of sounds like you just said that RFK Jr. owes people a public apology. Rogan said, are you sure I'm not part of a coalition with neo-fascist leanings? Seems like that's what you really think, or what you're projecting to the masses. Because here's what Professor Peter said some time ago. He said, I'm quite concerned about the Elon Tucker link. Then fold in Rogan and RFK Jr., and it becomes a pretty formidable coalition with neo-fascist leanings. So then he wants to go on Joe's show now and not have an adversarial relationship? You just called someone a neo-fascist for challenging your so-called science. In some ways, darker and perhaps more dangerous than Trump, in my opinion. Awful. I hope Team Biden is preparing. By what? Do you want him to indict Joe Rogan now? Or RFK? Maybe he should indict RFK too. He's already got one of his political opponents indicted. Why doesn't he indict his other political opponent? So Rogan obviously calls this guy out. This guy's a total hack. You're sure I'm not a part of a neo-fascist coalition? Says, to those misunderstanding, Rogan says, what he's saying, he's not agreeing to debate Robert F. Kennedy. He's offering to come on my show by himself because he doesn't want to be challenged. Here's Peter. I think we can have a respectful debate. Says, yes, Joe, I thought that debate was overly provocative, so I took it down right away. But I've been hurt by the public untrue statements you and guests have been making about me being a pharma shill, when all I do is make vaccines for the poor. Says, I don't take big pharma money. I'm sure he doesn't. Now, by the way, he says, I saw you deleted this tweet and I'm happy to clear the air. Yeah, after he's called him a neo-fascist. So these people are backpedaling and it's just amazing. Now, somebody else responded. Tom Nichols said, no medical professional should ever agree to do this. Never. It elevates the conspiracy guy, demeans the medical professional, and will only convince the kooks out there that RFK is right because a real doctor took the time to debate him. Never debate a conspiracy theorist. So you see what these people do. They don't want to invite you up on their stage when they are there. They don't want to join you on your stage when you would like to invite them. And if the audience is listening in the crowd and they're communicating amongst themselves, they also have to be censored and silenced. because they can't think for themselves. It's only their way or the highway. Rogan says that would be a great suggestion if you could actually assure the industry that you were representing wasn't completely captured by heartless monsters who've paid some of the biggest criminal fines in human history. It would be a great suggestion if the industry you were defending didn't occasionally look at human beings like an opportunity to generate insane wealth regardless of the consequences. But you can't do that, so maybe it would be good to have a friggin' debate, Tom, but they don't want a debate. They want you to just take their medicine and eat it. A lot of people want to see this debate happen. In fact, many people are jumping in big money. Steve Kirsch added in another $100,000 to the total, making it $600K. Debate him. They're all afraid of things like facts and data, so debate him. And Peter Hotez has already been on Joe Rogan's show, so shouldn't be that big of a deal to come on again. So Joe Rogan is getting into it on Twitter. And there was another post that I wanted to share on this topic. Somebody's keeping track, yes. Others are contributing, saying that they want to increase the pot. People have joined in. Joe Rogan dropped 100. Bill Ackman committed 100. Ruben committed 100K. Patrick Bet David dropped in 100K. All these people contributing. And we've got many more updates. So it's now up to 1.52 million as of 6:18, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I know that number has gone up dramatically. We're now up to 2.6 million for charities. That's how much people have donated or promised to donate just to make this debate happen. Here's the latest, 6:18, 11 p.m. $2.62 million just for a debate, just for some truth. Here's the leaderboard. Jay Kwan, 777,000. Andrew Tate dropped in 500,000. Real Nick Mugali, 250,000 there. Tim Pool dropped in 100K. Dr. Simone Gold, 55K. A lot of other people with some smaller contributions, but boy, it's adding up. And so they're all linking their tweets in there. $2.62 million just for a debate to your charity. Can you just show up there and just have a conversation? They'll get 2.62 million, courtesy of all these people. And think about all of these science deniers, all of these people who just want to have a conversation. Think about it. It'll be a very good conversation. Your candidate's clearly smarter than the other candidate, or your pro-jabber is much smarter, right? According to all the science and the consensus and the truth. And so put them up there. Should be a no-brainer. And you'll get 2.62 million to your charity. And it's going to be paid by all of these science deniers, all of these right-wingers out there. I mean, talk about a glorious, glorious conversation. What a victory for them. Should be a no-brainer. But they won't do it because they don't want to debate the issues. They want you to just take whatever they spoon-feed you, accept it, and acquiesce to their total and complete control. But we're not going to do it. Neither are these people. And we're looking forward to the debate continuing with or without their side as the truth comes out.